Hello, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. Our official sponsors are KR Couriers and Transport Limited. This is a Northwest based courier company delivering all across the UK. They can assist in home moves and removals to large, heavy and bulky items, collections and drop-offs. Fast, safe and reliable deliveries. Please get in touch for a free quote. You'll find all the information within the description. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome to the All or Nothing podcast with Billy Moore.
Yes,
and
Bill.
Today's special guest is Joe Maddocks.
Nice to see you, Bill.
How are you, Joe?
Sounds, mate.
So,
Just been cracking on.
Is right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Joe.
We're in a band called Dem Rats. You see us on Instagram. We were called Rats or Dem Rats, whatever you want to call us. You know what I mean? Some people call us the M Rats. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's a band we've been going for about 4 or 5 years now. Done some good gigs now in Liverpool, around the country, and just released some songs, and we're going to release. I'm on here today talking about our next tune that's coming out, you know what I mean, and all the new music that's to come.
Tell us about it then. Tell us about what's going on,
So we've got more changing the sounds of what we've done to the past. Anyone who's listened to me music in the past, they'll know it's a bit indie, but we've always had that sort of more rap, hip hop, and bits of reggae, bits of funk elements in the music as well, and just in certain songs, and we've shown that. Released a song called Section 60 over the lockdown. That was one that you shared in your story before. It's about stop and search and stuff like that.
I enjoyed that one. That was one that I've watched a good few times, Joe, because it's quite relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool, it's something that happened to me loads. I'm a good kid, know what I mean? But just growing up in Liverpool, you do get stopped by the police a lot for no apparent reason, do you know what I mean? And
do you think that's because of the way you dress?
Yeah and no, but in other towns it doesn't happen, and people dress like that as well. Do you know what I mean? And you can say it's the way that we dress, but the actual statistics are something that I've looked into. Yeah, and it's shocking, what's going on now. There was 30,000 stop and searches in Liverpool over the lockdown, and there was, I think it was 4,500 in Manny, something like that, and that's the whole of Greater Manchester. You can't quote me on them facts, but it's on stop searching. If you go on Merseyside Police's database, they'll tell you how many stop and searches that they've done, and it was 30,000 over the lockdown. The statistics that I'm proper sure of is the year before the lockdown there was 20,000 searches in Merseyside, and in the whole of Greater Manchester there was 4,900.
So do you think Liverpool's being targeted more than...
When you think about it, there's nearly 4 million people in Greater Manchester and just under 1 million people in Merseyside, and that's if you count the Whittle. That's if you count the Whittle and stuff like that, which obviously doesn't have the Matrix and all like that. It's also around West Kirby and Hoylake and all them places, you know what I mean? So
is this what prompted you to write the song?
Yeah. So when I found out them statistics, and and then Section 60 policing, and then what it entails, and the funny little thing, it includes that they can search your anal cavity and stuff like that. It's a nice little punchline at the end of the tune, isn't it? So
is that what they can do? That's Section 60?
Yeah, that's what a Section 60 entails, yeah. So anyone over the age of 13 who's a lad, if there's a Section 60, the police can check the bum for drugs or whatever.
Over the age of 13?
Over the age of 13, lad,
wow.
Yeah. It's disgusting, isn't it?
So have they had you the back of the Matrix van and stripped you?
Yeah, I've had that, to be honest, yeah, only once, that's what made me write the tune, to be honest, yeah. But they said, the busy said, as they stopped me on Mile End, I was going to my nan's from my rehearsal room. My nan lives on Scotty. Yeah. And they just stopped me, lads. It was about 11 o'clock at night. I was on the bike. It was the one time I didn't have my guitar on me. Because usually I've got my guitar, and they just wave at me when I've got my guitar, because they see I'm in a band, I'm not a bad kid or not, and I'm probably on my way to band practice or something, or to a gig, so they don't want to bother me. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it seems for a while there was a 4-month period where I didn't have my guitar, and everywhere I was going, they were just stopping me.
Don't you think that's so? To be fair though, do you think it's they're just doing their job in a sense of they make, because if you're going to see someone on bikes these days, they're going to pull you up, aren't they?
Yeah, you know what, I'm not an anti-police person, lads. I'm just anti that type of policing. I don't the busies have always been sweet with me, you know what I mean? It's not like they're bad people or nothing, but it's just they're only doing their job. It's the system that makes them do that. There's a big difference between the busies and the police. They should be I don't go really. It's weed, innit? Yeah. If weed wasn't legal, then policing and people would get on better, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean?
So what was the response from that song?
That was it had 40,000 views over a day on Instagram, and then it's racked up about 14,000 views on YouTube now. But it's we didn't get it. It was like after that tune, and it never done anything after that. Like we only wanted to release it on Instagram and stuff like that. We didn't want to drop it as like a proper tune or nothing at the time because it was just that like a little concept thing, and then there was the manager at the time that didn't want us to make that type of music.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And then but that's always the type of music I've wanted to make.
Yeah.
That was what made me want to be in a band. It wasn't
bit more of a rebel kind of.
Yeah, I've
tune,
always grew up listening to like Pink Floyd and Bob Marley and The Clash. They're like my top 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I can't not make music about politics when they're my biggest influences. You know what I mean? Or like what's going on.
And I've seen you came up on I think it was Lee Butler's Insta one point at one time over the governments and the policies, and
that was on in the lockdown with the Rishi Sunak video. Yeah, that was just to be honest, like just management at the time. Just that was just something they told me to do.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But like I was obviously feeling like that, but it was just like for me, it's not really me like going out and doing all this. I just like singing the tunes and that, but you have to do this. You know what I mean? And like it was one of them where they were like, you need to start using your social media more and utilising the lockdown and things like that. And to be fair, lads, it done bits for me in the lockdown, like, and just like raising awareness of myself and stuff like that. And through that video, it helped me a lot. And then another video I'd done the week before, that was like with a lad called On a Mission MC. I think you've had him on the podcast as well, haven't you?
Who's that?
Mark Carl.
No, not yet, but I have been in touch with him.
Yeah. Well, On a Mission, yeah. And I just seen him in town, and he just said, "You fancy playing a little song for the homeless?" I went, yeah, and he videoed it. And then next thing, I went back to the flat I was living in on Pall Mall, ended up fucking drunk and all like that, and woke up the next day and my mates come in and went, "You went fucking pure viral on Instagram here," and all. I've had like 60,000 views or something overnight, and then I had about 3,000 followers.
What song was that?
That was a song called Jack, and that's also like the only tune
that was brilliant. I think I've heard you sing that one.
That was the only one that we'd released really out of all the tunes with the band at that point, that was like the type of music that I wanted to make. It was a bit more hip-hoppy, it was a bit more funky and a bit more...
How does that one go? Can you a cappella
that? Like Jack spends his weekend selling trainers, that one.
Yeah.
That the way that starts, like. And yeah, it's just always been the type of music I wanted to make.
Maybe you can give us a little beat at the end so we can...
I should have brought me guitar thinking about it, shouldn't I? I could have done you a little tune.
Yeah. I reckon you can do that. You can a cappella that one.
I'll show you some of the tunes after we... I've got some tunes on my phone here, some earphones for you. I'll show you some of them later.
So, do you tell us a little bit about your background?
So, I'm from Aintree. Could live there since I was about 8 or 9. My family are from Kirkdale. We moved around a lot when I was a kid. And so, I started off in the primary on Boundary Street, St Gerard's it was called. But then I didn't really live in the catchment area, because my mum wanted me going to school where like she was from and that.
Yeah. And
I couldn't go there. They said, no, you can't go there. So I ended up, she put me into this private school because she wanted me to just do better. She just wanted to, she just had a business, and she's self-employed and that. And she put all the money away. You know, I didn't grow up with like loads of sick clobber like all the rest of the kids, you know what I mean? I didn't not have clothes or nothing, but like, do you know what I'm saying? And like, they had like, my mum put all the money into this to send into her kids rather than into herself. She my dad always says I could have had a Rangy or whatever, but they chose to put us in that. It was the best thing that they ever done. Really, Bill, was the best thing. So
you went into a private school from an early age?
Yeah, it was the best thing that they ever done.
Yeah, so what was the outcome in that private school? What was it like for you?
It was mad for me because I was like the only kids from Liverpool. Now, at the same school, there's loads of kids from Liverpool who go there, loads of proper Scouse kids to go. But
where were they all from?
Like Southport and Ormskirk and that, you know what I mean? And
one of the few quid behind them.
Yeah, loads, like, you know what I mean? A few of them, the dads might have been Scousers, but the mums weren't, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they didn't speak like that, like me. And when I'd say where I was from, people would like take the piss out of me. It was mad. It was like I was like the bottom of the social ladder, because I was like the Scouse kid.
So you say like you're from Kirkdale, or like, what the fuck's that?
Yeah, that's what it's all like, where you go out. Obviously I'm from Aintree, you know what I mean? But like I go out, my social group and all like that was around Kirkdale, and my family and my cousins and all like that. So I'd all be like, my first girlfriends and all like that were all from that area and stuff like that. And then basically, so I'd be telling kids like what I'd been up to over the weekend, and they just think it was like, it was so mad to them, and it was just like so funny and hilarious. And I remember I said like, oh yeah, I took this bird down the Kinney, which is the canal by Boundary Street, at the bottom of Boundary Street, and then they were all going like, down the Kinney, Joe, down the Kinney, low lads. It was like Harry Potter or something, Bill, swear to you. It was bizarre, yeah, but it was the best.
So you had the Wolves taking
yeah,
the
it was
piss
just the best opener for life, lads. It just readied me, do you know what I mean? To like,
no ways went down the Kinney.
Because I've always had to stick up for Liverpool since I like in school, know what I mean? What's like a massive chip on my shoulder about it, do you know what I mean? I'm not like, I haven't got a stop-shop story or nothing, but
no.
Do you know what I'm saying? But like, it built me to like who I am and like why I am so political about Liverpool and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
So you got some like positive kind of
yeah,
education
got
out
some
of it.
positive to bring positivity out of it.
Do you believe it was the kids you were mixing with at the time?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong.
So what's the difference?
Kids were bad either, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was some kids who were like into music. A lot of them were like kids who came from like Indian and Pakistani backgrounds and Chinese backgrounds. Who like the families had like said, you know, like play the guitar or play the drums, and they had like tuition. And the school had this boss music section in it. Like it had like all big grand pianos and all madness like that. And I just skip lessons, lads. I'd just go and I'd say, my ma's paying for me to go here. She's not paying. She's paying for me to. My mum once said, I'm paying for you to go to that school to be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was what she wants. So like, I used it to my full
advantage.
Potential. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I said I wanted to be a musician, and she stuck behind me, lad.
Well, from an early age was this?
No, it was like probably about the age of 14. Before that, lad, I wanted to be in the army, to tell you the truth. Yeah. That was the vibe, but that's like a very military school. Do you know what I mean? Like people who go from that school, they go on to be officers and that in the army, and I wanted to be in the RAF, me. So like in the school had like a programme, so as soon as you got into year 9 or year 8, can't remember what year it was, but one of the years, and you get in, you get to join the cadets, you get a big uniform, you get to go and shoot guns at lunchtime and all like that. Only 14-year-old kids shooting rifles.
You know that?
Yeah, all like that, yeah. The school's got its own shooting range and everything, guns and everything, all in the school. Okay, all the kids can use, like in the shooting range and that. Loads of sick stuff, mate. It was posh. Like that was like proper made me. It like into like.
So you sort of changed your mind from like going into the army to become a musician.
Yeah. That was like halfway through school. Yeah, I thought like I want to do that.
What was the instrument?
I was really good at languages in school as well.
Like
I can speak Spanish and French. Yeah. So like that's done me well.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Puedo hablar español, mi amigo. Si quiere tener una conversación conmigo, puedo hacer todo el podcast. Sí. Tienes personas de España, comprende-me. Sí. You know what I mean? So all your Spanish listeners, lad, don't know what I'm saying there. You know what I mean?
For all those Spanish listeners.
Yeah, like... see, fucking put a comment in below and see how good my Spanish is. Yeah. Because people say I talk like a Mexican.
So what did you do going forward then after school? And
I went straight to a college in town called LMA and got a BTEC in music there, level 3, and then went on to do a uni degree there as well. And got a degree from them as well. Okay. So I done that, got my music degree. And then,
so you done all the right things, didn't you?
Yeah. And then after that, I went to like that. But at the time, I was starting to travel through my uni degree. I was starting to like travel to London and stuff and going busking on my own. Yeah. And doing like.
So you go to London on your own busking?
Yeah, busking, all the time, mate. Yeah, but not really on my own. With friends and that, we'd start a little jokes, little band. It wouldn't be a serious band or nothing. The only thing I see in music I didn't really. Obviously, everyone's got that thing of wanting to be famous, but I seen it more as in like the graft of making dough, not like being famous. There's plenty of people who just go around the boozers and absolutely smash it, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You've had Owen Brown. You know Owen Brown, like, you know what I'm saying, like that.
Flying over it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So just like there's such a thing in Liverpool for that, and it's boss, you know what I mean. So I love to I started doing that really. Like I've been in bands and that, but the bands didn't really work out. And
yeah, because you know what, some people like you said, like they want to be famous and they want to be in a band and they want to smash it that way, but they're forgetting the fact that you still got to pay the bills and you can make a living in a good way.
Yeah.
By just like Owen can. I'm pretty sure he could be fucking on the telly.
And what it was, and like going to that private school, it was always like, you've got to be on a good wage, when you're older, you've got to be worth those sort of thing. That was like the vibe, not for me mum and dad at all, but like from the kids and that, you know what I mean? So it's always been for me, like, making sure I do better than them other kids. Yeah. Through music, do you know what I mean? And you can, you know what I mean, without being famous. So you can make it a decent little wage, you know what I'm saying?
When did you find out you could sing?
Since I was a kid, really, Yeah. Like my mum's family are really, really musical. In a sense, they're not like professional musicians, except for me nan's little brother. But my great granddad, he was like a singer as well as other things, you know what I mean? Lucky Man and all that, you know what I mean? Yeah, he was a belter. I'd never met him, like, but he's where the music came from. And all my side of the family, every time these had parties, it'd all be Beatles tunes. Brian would have the guitar out, he'd have a band and that with him, and it'd just be like parties. Yeah. And they'd just sing, and all the kids would get up and sing, and that, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a cousin called Cara, she can sing. Dominic, he like me saying, my cousin, he can sing, you know what I mean? All of us can sing, it's just those who choose to do it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So you've got a musical family background?
The Doran family, they're called, yeah.
The Doran?
The Doran family, yeah. And from over the bridge, they were on the docks, like Irish, like gypsy Irish sort of vibes, I think. But I've been doing a little bit of the singer out of a band called Red Rum Club, they're Dorans as well, so that's where they get their music from, and it must be the same fella, know what I mean? Quite a musical thing.
So where did your busking lead to?
Led me everywhere, lad, you know. I went like all over the UK really, like just London mainly.
Just on the streets?
Yeah, Leicester Square. But like sometimes outside the Earls Court train station, I was living in this building that was like a hostel, but it was like the old Labour Party headquarters, but it's not the Labour Party headquarters anymore. They sold it, and then it's been turned into like an Airbnb. It's got like 600 rooms or something. It was like 35 quid a night. We used to live there in Earls Court. It was a belter. It was boss.
So was you smashing it just on the streets?
Yeah, making like someone to say, lads, and take the taxman comes after me, lads. Know what I mean? But yeah, you're making good sale in London, like. But it all gets spent while you're there, lad. Know what I mean? Not a penny to show for it. Yeah. Know what I mean? But it was just like a good experience, and you just making sure that you can. It was testing out the water. I think going to do that, and then I ended up actually having a job going. I spoke about this in the 10 Point podcast. I had a job going to China, and I didn't take it because I'd met this manager who said that he could get me a gig with the Happy Mondays with like an Originals, and that was when like the start of Rats came. Do you know what I mean? Like our job was just in bands to mess around. I weren't like trying to be. I'd done that when I was 18, and I was like, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So like I was just like playing gigs just for the fun of it, and it was like the first time I got on stage and done my own tunes. I used to do covers to make a wage and all like that, and play the boozers and stuff and get by. But then like I'd done one gig which it was just like in the Zanzibar for Tony, and it was like just playing like my own sort of little reggae and blues little jams that I had on the guitar with a bassist and a drummer and that. And then this manager seen me, said, I can get you a gig with the Happy Mondays, man, like stick with me. I said, I'm going to China. I had a plan to go to China, do you know what I mean? And like work as a music teacher out there, and you know, like get a little bit of thing on my CV sort of thing, yeah. And then he said, no, I can get you a gig in Suffolk and all like this, and then I've got this other party in London that's getting played in August. Like, just started naming all these sick gigs that sounded like good, and there's expenses and all that paid for and that. So I went, yeah, go ahead, sounds sweet. And then I jibbed going to China and thought I'll make one last little stint. Yeah. See where it takes me, you know what I mean, lads? And now I'm fucking here, lad, know what I mean? So that was how Rat started.
So did you get to work with Happy Mondays?
Yeah, I ended up on the gig. That was the first gig Rats ever played. Was it? Well, actually, no, I tell a lie, that we played a gig a week before with Space. Have you heard of Space? Scousers, yeah, but we played, that was down by Ipswich. The female of the species and neighbourhoods and yeah, man. Yeah,
how were they getting on anyway?
Oh, lads, boss, no, they were dead friendly with us. They were proper like, the ignores us, it was our first gig. Not that we were nervous or anything, we was all done gigs in separate bands and that, but like, it was just the perfect first gig though to start off our band, because they're like a big influence on us as well.
So they were your first.
Yeah. The first ever show that Rats played was with Space.
And how many's in your band now with the Rats?
Well, I'll be able to say this now. There's 5 of us now on stage, but there's 4 of us. You know what I mean? But there's 5 of us on stage. We're just in the middle of just getting a new member.
Negotiating.
Not negotiating or nothing, like, it's just like seeing whether they want it to be 4 of us or 5 of us. Yeah. But it's Lowell, our bassist, it's his brother Chris. Yeah. And he's unbelievable on the guitar. We grew up with him, like, you know what I mean? He's bossing. We want to get him in because I want to be able to, in the new style of music that we're doing, it's better for me to not be playing like a big lecky guitar, big heavy lecky guitar, strumming it dead fast, because it's less for me to sing, and like I'm starting to rap on that as well, lads, in the tunes, you know what I mean? Not trying to be a gangster or nothing, like, but just that type of vibe, you know what I mean?
That's what it is, isn't it? That's what you want, that's what you feel.
It's what we've grew up with. It's the type of it's only the melodies really that are what you could say
a
rap. It's like, it's just that type of music what we've grew up with. The same way the Clash started using reggae, because they grew up with reggae. They might have been looked the same way. People might look at me going, fucking hell, you daft, why you rapping? I'm just like, nah, it's just the sound that like I've grew up with, innit? You know what I mean? It's the type of music that I end up making.
Tell us a little bit about who you've been working with then.
In terms of like gigging with, or in gigs, we've done some boss ones, mate. So like I said there, like the first one we done was with Space. A week later we played with the Happy Mondays, and then that was to like 4,000 people with Space, and there was like 10,000 people with the Happy Mondays. They're like your first gigs, and lads, don't get me wrong, there was like bands below us and that, do you know what I mean? The well deserved to be above us, because our manager at the time was booking the festival. He just put us straight up there, do you know what I mean? Which was got us like, and then like people in Liverpool then sort of seen that on social media and thought these are doing well, you know what I mean? And jumped on it, and then we sold out a gig in Liverpool not long after in phase 1, and then from that we done the Arts Club. That was like 550 capacity. That was in like September 2019, and then in February 2020 we done the Invisible Wind Factory, and we sold that out to like 1,100 people. You know what I mean? Which was like still to this day the best gig I've ever played, lad. You know what I mean? And then like a week later we were all locked in our houses, lad.
That's it. Lockdown kicked in.
And then lockdown kicked in, and that was why I was half, you know, like, and then you know a week before we'd been on Soccer AM. Done a performance on Soccer AM, done the volley challenge. I bounced it off the bin. It was fuming. And when you're doing the top bill, the top bin challenge, I'll show you on my phone in a bit. And yeah, lads, so we done all that, and then the lockdown happens. So we were all like, and then the two members of the band, the drummer and the bassist at the time, they were like, we're not going to be doing a gig for like 10 years, lad. I'm just going to crack on with my job. I'm not going to be going to the room, me or not. And I was going, lad, if there was zombies at my door, I'd still be going down the room, do you know what I mean? It's like looking for a gig and looking for a tour, fucking little coronavirus and that. So as long as you're safe, and, do you know what I mean? I said, you've just been with you. I wants to still crack on with the bands. It's a business at the end of the day. You've still got to work, haven't you?
You have, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then they didn't have the same enthusiasm, you know what I mean? Even though I'm still good mates with them both, you know what I mean? They just wanted to do different things with their lives, or because of the lockdown, didn't think we were going to gig. And then Lowell, who's the bassist now, and Alan, who's the drummer now, they just been in my life for the past 10 years, like my oldest musical mate. So I started going to the youth centre a lot when I was a kid, in the Shoesy in Everton. That's where I like started. I've done a bit of work in there over the lockdown, and previously as well, done like a couple of 3-month stints working in there. And like, that's where I met Lowell and Alan. They'd just been in my life. Alan's in the music video for Jack, for instance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they'd all just been in my life, and I've been in a band with Lowell when we were younger, but we were only in a band for like a year and a half, and then it just split. It was like 2 singers in a band, so he wanted to do that type of music, I wanted to do that type of music, so we stayed best mates, but never really, you know, went further from the first band we were in. And then they'd just been there in the background, and then I went round to Lowell's brother's house, and they were just jamming in the lockdown. I was going, fucking hell, I wish my band was doing this. Yeah. I was still going on to meet with Mikey, the guitarist, obviously. Yeah. He lives all the way in Aiton, lad, so we weren't coming by ours in Aiton. He went to see Lowell in McGull, and then they're just all jamming. I was thinking, I need to get these in. These just need to join the Rats, and know what I'm saying? And
that's what happened. They just
they wanted to anyway. They said, you know what I mean? They were right in there, lads. You know what I'm saying? Because they'd been there and seen us sell out the Wind Factory to like 1,100 people. So they knew that there was a buzz. You know what I'm saying?
So you've had lockdown now, right, Joe? That's impacted not only yourself, but it's impacted everyone, hasn't it? It's massive. It's done a lot of things. It's done a lot of damage to
sob stories for me. For me, lads, personally, like, because I've still progressed, that I haven't seen it as a setback. I've just seen it as a time of life where things was like that. I haven't seen it as a setback to lockdown.
It's like a history lesson now, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Moved on. So what happened? What's happened since? What happened, you know, after this, the lockdown and that? Where did it start taking off again? So we'd sort of started finding out like that our old manager was sort of fiddling us with the money and stuff like that, and like telling us there was no money when he wasn't, and like we done like a photo shoot to get some clothes Yeah.
And it was like all we modelling like Armani trackies and Nike trackies and that. And there was like a nice little fee there for us, and he just gave us the trackies, and we were like as if we were happy with the trackies and that, lad. And it was like proper got to us, lad. And we jibbed him off, and then we were on our own for a bit. This is like the second we've come out of lockdown, know what I mean? Because he's just been hiding the old lockdown. He's just took the piss out of us, robbed all the money from the Wind Factory gig that we done, caused absolute murder. They're all bollocks and that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then he was from down south, and then the record label that we had at the time, they introduced us to a fella called Glyn, who's from Liverpool, who's our manager now, who's an absolute belter, and he's just come on board and just fixed us as a band and made us a professional band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the first gigs that he got us was with like the DMAs, which is a band that he like it's a band that he takes care of himself, you know what I mean? They've sold out the Echo Arena, and he's put us on there with them, and put us on in Alexander's Palace with them, which is like just a bonkers way to come out of lockdown, being locked in your house, and the next thing you're playing to arenas and that, lad. So that was a belter. And then put us on in the Leeds O2 with them twice. And then since then he's got us on gigs with like the Specials, Proclaimers, and played another gig the other week. I think the Pixies were headlining that one.
So you know when you're playing on these gigs like with the Specials and like the Proclaimers, where are you in it? Are you like, do you get to meet them and do you get to...
You walk past them, lad, yeah? And it's just your shout to whether you want to go, yo, what is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or just walk past them and just be like, let on, know what I mean? Like, I didn't see the Proclaimers, like, but I met the Special, like a few members of the Specials. Didn't meet the singers, met the drummers and all like that. Our fella from Coventry going, you Scousers, like that. Yeah, man, then he liked us straight away, and he was just cracking on with him. Yeah, good.
So what's
Don't
your...
say too much about what the Specials get up to, like, you know what I mean?
So what's your audience's response when, you know, have you got like a fan base now?
Yeah, well, lads, I'll get literally the lads who I had to stop for directions, didn't I, before, and I had to hotspot this random kid's phone. He was on me going, you haven't the rats on it yet, lads, you can hotspot my phone with Billy Moore podcast, yeah, and he was on it, lads, the kids down there in the cafe. You know what I mean? So like it happens all the time now, and it's like especially when I do my gigs in town, when I do like my little cover shows and that, just know what I'm saying. I don't tell anyone I'm playing them gigs. Yeah. Just say put Maddocks on it. You know what I mean?
See, I met you in the Baltic a few years ago. I think it was the second lockdown.
With John May, yeah.
Yeah, with John and a friend of ours. He's passed away, but and you sang. You remember Alistair with the bald head?
Nah, you know.
Oh, you might
oh, no, but that's it, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. But anyway, he sang that song, Jack, and I was like, wow. But I remember hearing that on social media, and it went viral.
Instagram, yeah.
Brilliant tune, and you sang it for us there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
With your guitar out.
My mate Connor was there as well, Connor Abram.
Yeah, that's Jake's.
Yeah. Well, I see Connor. I've known Connor for years. I've known Connor longer than that. I've known Connor for about nearly 8 years now.
Jake came along. We were doing a little bit of filming, weren't we? For I think it was Lockstock, a little Lockstock remake for a shop that Alistair was opening. That never really took off. But anyway, Jake was
his lad Connor's really sound. He's in a band now called The Stamp. Give them a little plug on here. They're really good, really sick bands. The Stamp.
What bands would you recommend? Well, to say recommend, but what bands are getting there now in Liverpool?
In Liverpool, there's loads, you know. There's absolutely I'd argue now, that this is the best it's been since the 60s for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of Red Rum Club, me.
Red Rum?
Yeah, Red Rum Club. Jamie Webster, for me, he's like the king right now, lads. Even though he's a copite and I'm a bully, like he's boss, lads. I love his tunes. I love what he stands for. I love his morals and everything about him, lads. Is good.
Jamie, I love Jamie. Jamie,
you know I mean?
spoke to Jamie the other day, and I thought, you know what, lad, what a fucking kid he is. He's boss. He sat there across from me, and
no, so I've shared every rehearsal room the Rats have had. Jamie's always been either next door or the hall across.
Yeah.
So we've always seen Jamie. I knew him before he released his music, and
he's fucking killing it.
He's boss. He was dead nervous to release his own music at the start. You know, always known he's done the Liverpool songs. I remember having a conversation. I went, lad, no, don't worry about it. You'll absolutely kill it. You know what I mean? I knew he would, and I always knew he'd kill it, lad. And it's bossed at what the club's done for him, and it's allowed him to take it on to do this. It's a mad way of making it that you've never seen before, isn't it? You just got to appreciate it, lads. Anyway,
did you ever think about doing something like that with Everton?
Yeah. I've thought, you know, I want to be good, like, yeah. I do a few when in town, like, you know, like in if Everton fans come in and they ask for one, well, we'll do a couple of Everton tunes, like I can sing a few of them on the
Spirit of the Blues, and
Spirit of the Blues, 60 grand, Seamus Coleman.
I think that'll be something you could start doing, Joe, you know, like, because...
be a good one, that
Jamie's
I was speaking to our manager about it the other day as well,
lad, to be fair.
He was keen on it. He's a blue, like, Glenn, our manager as well, and he's in with the club,
we've got
my auntie's the kit lady, lads. There's two of my aunties who worked at Everton for like 20 years.
Yeah, because, like, it'll motivate, hopefully, the Blues to fucking...
I know, to do something, lad.
Rally round and support.
Started off in the brick, innit? Know what I mean? Or the oak tree or something.
The brick or the oak tree, just get down there, speak to the landlord and just say, look, what's happening?
If there's any Blues watching it, get in touch with me. Innit?
Yeah, what's happening? Get your own song set up.
I know. Lads, we would all...
Let's have it right. You've got
even the bands, the bands, they're half copites. But when we play gigs, though, lads, like we played a gig in on Neighbourhood Festival on this year, and there was about 1,000 people there to come and see us. It was one of the sickest little crowds we played to. It was just a bit smaller than the Win Factory amount of people there, do you know what I mean? And it was the day Liverpool played in the Champions League final with Ray Allen lost, and so there was no copites there, was there? Not because the match hadn't started yet, you know what I mean? But obviously there was no copites at that festival, and all the lads who'd seen me from Liverpool there, they were all Blues, all there, And as soon as we started playing, there was about 5 or 6 Everton flags, lads. No, like in the crowds and that, like all going out, I was going sick, that, know what I mean? And Lowell and Mikey, either side of me, 2 copites, they were fuming, like, know what I mean? I looked at them and went, is there a match on today? Lowell's a Carragher as well, lads, you can imagine how much of a copite he is, know what I mean? So
that's
so it's boss with the band, we're half and half the band, so it's the perfect mix, know what I mean? If I was outnumbered, lads, it'd be terrible. But like I've got the drummer to back me up, know what I mean?
It's like this podcast, like we've got the Reds and the Blues, but diverse as a city.
I know, that's what I said to Bill before. I said, make sure you get this behind me and not that.
Yeah.
The cuts of that there,
And then we come together collectively as a city. So what, right, you know what was, why didn't you go down a path of crime and drug taking, and what stopped you? What was like the motivation to do something different? Did you because you're obviously seen as a spectator in life, you see what's going on.
I've always had like a passenger seat experience to it, lads, to be honest, know what I mean? Like Jamie says it as well, know what I mean, in the way that he says it, just had a passenger seat experience. I've not involved myself in any crime or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be honest, lad, no. Not that I'd like to enclose. So
anyway.
That's what I'll say.
Have you ever been, temptation? Has it ever, like...
It's more like the, it's not like about how, like, for me, it was like, it's because of, like, my ma. She'd always drilled to me from, like, a very early age, probably too early, about what a drug dealer was and about what criminals were because of where we were from, being so mad. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you think that helps?
Yeah and no. Gives you like that, that's what gives where the temptation come from when your ma puts something on the shelf and goes, that's naughty, don't do that. You're like, oh, it looks sick, that one, doesn't it? It looks belted, that. You do, don't you? Like, that's the way you are, like, but can't say I've been a fucking, like, a good lad, but I haven't been a bad lad. Do you know what I mean? At all. I'm not like a hard kid or nothing like that. I'm not a bad, I don't beef people or none of that shit, what people try and go on about, know what I mean? Yeah, done what I've done, lads, know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of that, isn't it, that you can... you don't need to be involved in any of that.
Not involved. I've never had any inclination to get involved in any of that type of stuff, like, do you know what I mean?
I had a little Anthony Russell on.
I seen him the other day in town, actually. I met him for the fit. We've always, because I've got a lot of mates from, like the Kirkdale area, and like the Aintree area, and he's from, like, in between. And we've always, like, said, like, to people, like, people have always said, you need to meet Taito. I've met him, like, I know loads of people who know him.
You sound Taito.
Do you know what I mean? And then I seen him in town the other day, and he's always giving me loads of love on Instagram as well. And I seen him in town, and he spotted me, and I went, Taito, Joe, and like, met him, got a little picture and that, put it up on Instagram. He's a belter, lad. He's got proper, like, a sick, like, just one of the sickest energies, lads. Like, he's just like a loving person, lad. He reminds me of myself in that way, you know what I mean? Just like, or like just wanting good vibes. He just wants good vibes.
Tell you what, mate, when he was telling me about when he got knocked out, I thought, fucking hell, lads, just standing there trying to sing a song to someone. Imagine that, Joe.
I know.
You're standing there.
I know.
For a few fans.
I've heard about that as well.
And then someone stealing it on you.
It's absolute. But you know what? He apparently he walked a mate of mine who apparently seen it. someone said, or he said, I'm not asked, I'm going to smash it anyway. He said to the kid, I'm going to smash life anyway, so...
Yeah. 3 fingers up to you.
That's why I love him, lads, know what I mean? He's boss, mate. I love him, nothing but love for Taito, lads.
So have you never had anyone like...
Yeah, I've had a few scuffles, to be honest, lads. Some like, one person spotted me once and said, like, you're in rats, let's fight.
Yeah. So what he said?
Yeah, like, not like that, but that's how it basically was. He was on who it was.
Yeah.
And he was like...
So a young kid?
Yeah, there was a bit lad. It was one of them. I don't really want to speak about violence on the podcast or nothing, but yeah, like I've had people like try and like be aggressive to me. It's only twice, like, you know what I mean. I've like most of the time I've had love, but I've had like 1 or 2 where I've done nothing. Like I don't go around wanting to beat people. Like, that's why I do music. I want peace and love.
How do you deal with something like that?
Just kicks, high kicks.
Just high kicks.
High kicks. Keep the hands safe. Just kick them away, lad. Keep the hands safe. Don't try and hurt them. Just protect yourself.
See, that's
the thing. If you go and try and hurt someone, you're gonna get hurt. But if you try and protect yourself, then that's when they get hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something like that. Something that once someone told me once, and it's always helped me. Like, don't ever try and, if in fighting, don't ever try and hurt someone. Just try and protect yourself, because they're gonna try and hurt you, and then you're just protecting yourself. Do you know what I mean? And that's when they get hurt.
That's exactly that. You know,
I mean?
you're gonna come up against that anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, in life. So, you know, especially when you're getting, you know, the bigger you get and the more noticed you become.
Yeah.
You know, people are gonna be stopping you, and you know, like you said, 99% of it's love.
99.9%. I've been recognised now, lads, that I can't even count. And I think, like, where's me fucking Ferrari? What's going on? You know what I mean? But you know it's only in Liverpool, like, but it happens loads, mate. It's bosh.
Shame, and you know, it's an incredible feeling to be walking through your own city, you know, and listening to people say, "Yeah, there's Billy there, oh, fucking shines," you know, because I'd feel like, I don't know what I'd feel like if I heard them say, "Oh, he's a bad sausage, mate," you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but you don't get that. You get, you know what, he shines him. You know, all right, Billy, yeah, mate. Love what you're doing with your kid, and you know what you're doing in the city and your podcast, and you think, wow, you know what, mate, I feel inspired to continue, and it motivates me to carry on, because people are like appraising your achievements. If they go, oh, get on him, who does he think he is? The way he goes on and all that. If they were going on like that, and that's the way it was, and I was a bad sausage, I'd move on. You know, I'd want the ground to open up and just swallow me and think, oh, I'm not getting involved in that. But no, I feel, like yourself, Joe, right, that we do something for our city, and it's we're driven to change it for the better. Yeah, you know, you're doing it with music.
Yeah, that is at the root of, like, that one thing I touched. That's the root of, like, why I want to do it. I want to change.
I love that song, Jack, and hopefully what I'll do is, like, at the end of the podcast, I'll have you doing a little beat if you can, right, and I can cut that.
I'll give you a little spoken word, maybe.
Right? Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna put section 60 up if that's okay with you and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want you to tell me what's going on with you know, your manager and stuff like that going forward.
So we've got it's with Friends Management, they're called, and it's a good fella called Glenn Roberts. Yeah, he's from Liverpool. He's worked with the Cortinas and the DMAs, if you've heard of them, like from early on in their career, brought like, you know, been a part of their success and seeing how it works and seeing how the growth of bands work and stuff like that. And we're his next little enterprise to take on to do that. You know what I mean?
He's right.
Work with another fella called Michael Gale. He's boss, and he's sorted to sort out our social media, making sure that we know how to post, because we've only just really posted videos. We don't really know how to do that. Oh, we're going live and all this and all that. Like, I don't have anything against anyone who does it. It just baffles me about what am I supposed to do, what am I supposed to say, what am I supposed to talk
I don't
about.
do that myself, Joe.
All that, and you know what I'm saying, yeah. Not against anyone that does it.
I don't know.
Hats off to the people that do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, proper hats off to the people who do that and still find the time to be creative and do that. They're next level people, them lads. Yeah. Like, what they like.
I've never. It's very rare that I've done a live. I think I've done it for like with our Joe, and I don't know. You know, it's just awkward. It's just a bit. It does baffle me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're just there in the moments and that.
There's no edits.
Yeah, but a lot of bands, they're using it to their advantage to keep the page getting engagement and keep people commenting on the pictures and liking all the stuff.
Works with the algorithm, doesn't it?
It works with the whole thing, lads, and it's just something we're getting our head round of it now, because we've got like 15,500 followers nearly on on Instagram.
Yeah.
So like we do have like a presence on there, but we're just not using it to our advantage.
And you're affiliated as well, aren't you? You're official.
Yeah, we've got the blue tick. Means nothing really, don't know what I mean.
Doesn't like, but
it's one of them.
More than I've got.
You not got the blue tick yet, Phil?
You don't give me one, lad. Look at that.
I don't even know what happened with that. I don't even know we got it. I just woke up one morning, it was there, lad. When we had our old manager, we didn't even know what was anything that was going on. So don't know whether they paid for it or whatever. Don't know what happens. But it seemed to be when we signed our first record deal, when we signed with This Feeling Records and Warner Brothers.
He's averaged $2 at a movie, done a few good things, you know, and not a fucking yallop.
Please take his needs. You need to get in touch with them, Phil.
Swerved them. It's alright, I'm official already.
You need to put that in your name, official.
Yeah, be official already. So, going forward with your life now, right, how old are you?
25.
25, a young kid.
Yeah, young age. I like to think that, lads. I'm starting to get to the thing where I think I'm not, but I'm at the age where I enjoy it when people say that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
See, what I like, Joe, is like there's people like yourself, right, in our city, right, that are not on the streets gangbanging and pulling out blades and
especially the reputation our city's got now. It's not. This is like, that's not Liverpool. That's like a very, very closed off part of Liverpool.
Yeah, it's sad what's going on, and you know, a lot of people go, "Oh, we've heard you signaling," and you know, when people stand up and say, "Oh, it's sad," well, like, you know, it's becoming of our city. But the reality it is, what can we do? Yeah. As an individual, you know.
It's just
collectively as a city we can do something, and we've proved that over the years.
I think that weapons down, gloves up thing, what you're doing, Bill, that's a boss thing, mate.
See where
I'd love to do something like that involving music, because I do like I said at work. So all the band now, so like me, Lowell and Alan, some water got the driest neck and for Zach. The bassist Lowell and the drummer Alan, we all met in the Shuzy Youth Centre. Yeah. And that's somewhere where I've worked, like I said, over a while, do you know what I mean? Like I've worked there about 4 or 5 times now. And just seeing the progress of the kids get worse and worse on like the amount of naughty kids. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And how bad they can be, do you know what I mean? It's I'm not speaking ill of the kids, you know what I mean, or anything like that. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not bad kids, they're all good kids, but you just see the things that they can't help in their life. Take a hold of them. Do you know what I mean? And it's sad to watch, mate.
It is, and this is where we've got that line, because like if you've got to a certain age in life, right, you know, you're past the mark, right, what we want to do is intervene in the young.
Because I was doing music lessons in there then, so every time I've worked in there, I've been like the music teacher. Do you know what I mean? And like taught a few kids the guitar, the drums, got a few kids into bands and stuff like
and you know what, you can possibly offer them a little bit of a pathway. Yeah. You know, something positive, because for me it's like, target them while they're young, you know. They're getting on now. It's like,
there's one kid in particular who was seen the other day. I won't say his full name, but it's funny enough, he's called Jack, which is the odds of that, yeah. And he used to go to Shuzy and another youth centre that I used to work in West Derby, which was in that St Vincent's blind school. They done like a workshop, so I used to teach like blind kids and stuff like that, the guitar, as well as kids who were there on like youth centre stuff as well. And he was there, and he was also in the Shuzy back, and I'd worked there. Like there was a few years difference in between, but he remembered me. And like now this kid, he's fully in a band, so that's a proper show of where that just gets kids into that life, like that actual thing, that avenue of going to youth centre,
exactly,
and seeing the band side of things, and you're seeing the footy side or the boxing side or anything side of things, you know what I mean? That's necessary in a community. So that Liverpool's got nothing. There's nothing there. There's no foot. There's no big sick. There's, you know, you've got the pits and all like that, and you've got these footy pitches. There's no proper, probably need to get the kids more into sports, more into music, more into that. There's not enough effort, I don't think, put into the local, the talent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the council needs to start pulling a finger out.
Don't get me started on them, Bill. It's about the podcast, that lad.
We've been down that road with a lot of scale.
Don't get me started, We'll move on from that one. Yeah.
So, right, so have you travelled abroad and done things?
I've done like, with my album when I was a kid, when I was about 17 with Lolu, the bassist. Now we done a little stint in Norway. That was all paid for, all hotels, everything, and like it was good. That was a good little laugh, like. But we were a bit too rowdy. Didn't really invite us back. We were just 17-year-old kids who got let off the leash. You know what I mean? Yeah. We went a bit too hard on the party and that. And then we didn't have a bands after that, but nah, I've never gigged outside of the UK with Rats. Like, we've always gigged just in.
Where did the name come from, Joe?
Loads of different things, you know, Bill. When I think about it, when I think about it, there's loads of different things in my life that it goes to. Yeah. But like, it was just wrote on a wall, and I seen it, and I just thought, that's a good name.
Them Rats?
No, just Rats.
Rats.
It was just wrote on a wall in my rehearsal room. Someone had wrote it.
But isn't it like a term, sort of a derogatory term? So he's a fucking rat.
I know, this was, I get that, but like to me it means like there was like, it's also like the opposite. If you're in what I found out, if you're in like a gang, the opposite gang is the Rats, and that other gang will call you the Rats, because you know what I mean. And like it means, and like I used to have it's not our manager turned it into the Rats and them Rats, but the name originally that I wanted, and I had a bit of an argument with it, because I just wanted it to be called Rats, not the Rats, not them Rats, not just Rats. Do you get me? Yeah. And then he said nah, like, but I just wanted it to mean Rats, because it meant, and I thought, rebel against the system, Rats. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I had a Patterdale Terrier as well, and that was a ratter. That was all that it's done. Name was Rooney. That's how old it was. You know what I mean? Yeah. We ended up changing it to Louis when Louis, after Rooney left him, Louis Shaha, so we changed it to Louis. And then what's it called? Yeah, so that was like a rat, and the only command that knew was Rats, Rats, Rats. You call Rats. Yeah. And it just patrol the house or patrol the garden. You know,
just stuck with
looking
it.
For rats. It's just like a little word that followed me around, so I just thought, rats in it. As soon as, just because it instantly brings that, when you say like, oh, it means scumbag, it means this, it brings emotion out of you when you hear it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's
you know anger in it. Yeah, you know what I mean? So you're like, you remember it when you're here, Rats. You've just remembered it. You're never going to forget that, because you've felt an emotion from it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So what's with Noel Gallagher and
Liam?
Is it Liam?
Yeah, Liam. Yeah. I've met Liam. Like, Liam's a belter. Like, I met him at the Isle of Wight Festival, and then he said he'd get me on a gig with him, and then invited us to play at the Royal Albert Hall with him, lads, at the Teenage Cancer Trust, which was a big one for us. Like, you know what I mean?
And how did that go?
Boss, lads. Met Roger Daltrey, RDU.
Yeah.
Had a little scram, like, sat next to him, sort of thing. Didn't really speak to him, like, he was on the same table. Sat on the same table, Roger Daltrey, someone speak to him. We'd already pestered him for a picture and that. Probably took the piss out of it. He went, Scousers, can't take you anywhere. And all like that. He was like, you know what I mean? But he liked us. He was just dead, like, we're dead nice when we meet people, you know what I mean? Because we were like little kids, like, when we meet famous people, like, we proper, like,
starstruck.
Yeah, and I wasn't with Liam, like, no offence to Liam, he's just more of a
Scally.
Not that type of character, is he? You know what I mean? That you get like that about, you know what I mean? With Roger Daltrey, I was like, yeah, Roger, what is, you know what I mean? Because he's more of a...
Noel's a bit more reserved, isn't he?
I don't know, I've never met Noel. He might not be, he might be louder. Liam was quite quiet, to be honest, lads. He was he wasn't like dead rowdy or nothing. He was dead funny. He asked me where I was from, and then but he knew me already, which was the mad thing. Like he was like onto us before I know what I'm saying.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
But yeah, so it was like, and that was always something that I wanted. Like someone in school, I remember someone taking the piss out of me, going, when I started playing the guitar, going like, you bet you'd love to meet Liam Gallagher. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I said to him, I went, I'd only like to meet him if he knew who I was, you know. Yeah. Not like if he was on me and he like want, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I'd ever want to meet him. So and then when we played the Isle of Wight, Bonehead, he was the guitarist in Oasis, he come to watch our set. So we dedicated Jack to him.
He's right.
And then he'd said to us before the gig, when we met him, when we seen him before, he went, come and see us after Liam's set, to come backstage and come and have a bevy with me and Liam and that. And then it's a funny story, this actually. And so Bonehead, the first time I'd ever sang in front of anyone, lads, was in the Harmonics music shop in Crosby. My ma had a little printing shop in Crosby there by my school, and there was a music shop that needed printing done for them, so like she's done the printing and said, oh, can me lad come round and fucking on the night, because there was like open mic night sort of thing, and like a little party and like all guitars and that, you know what I mean? I didn't have a guitar at that point, you know what I mean? I was just like showing an interest and going round to my Uncle Brian's and playing with him and smoking a bit of pot with him and all that, you know what I mean? And then like Brian's brought me to this night in Harmonics in this music shop. Seeing this kid who was like a year or two above me in school, and I'd seen him play the guitar, lad, proper sick. But like I weren't like, couldn't speak to all his year. I used to fight with all of them, lad. It was just like, they used to say in my school there was no kids who had enough fights, lads, because all of the kids wanted to fight me because I was Scouse and wanted to try and, do you know what I mean? All the ones in the year above and that, yeah. So I never spoke to anyone and had no mates, nothing, no mates or anything. And then except for the music kids, obviously, do you know what I mean? But like none of the sporty kids or nothing like that, do you know what I mean? And so yeah, this kid played the guitar and I said, do you know how to play Wonderwall to him? Just in the music shop, because I'd seen him, recognised him from school, he recognised me. And he went, yeah, I said, you fancy getting up and playing it? He went, yeah, so we got up and sang Wonderwall. And the next thing, Bonehead's, he's been like the special guest. I've ended up meeting Bonehead the first time I've ever sang in front of anyone. Ended up outside having a smoke with him, was only about 14. And he said, I'll probably see you in 10 years. No, because he's left, you know what I mean? And like 10 years, nearly to the day, lad, he followed me on Instagram.
That's the fucking brilliant story, that. Isn't it? How mad's that?
Yeah, mad. And then, and he's a bonehead like me, you know what I mean? Do you get me? yeah. And what's it called? So anyway, seeing him at the Isle of Wight, I've messaged him this, you know what I mean? When he followed me, I've said, no way, I met you 10 years ago, nearly to this day. And you said you'll see me in 10 years and you've just followed me, you know what I mean? Sent him the picture of me and him from when I was a kid and that. He was going, no way, I remember you, buzzing with that. He said, I've tell Liam that now and then. So there was a little thing for us anyway.
So you had a little bit of a relationship?
Yeah, from that, it was good. I was lucky that he remembered it. I was lucky that he remembered it, you know what I mean?
So what's this about the Black Eyed Peas and Yoko Ono?
Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
It was the Black Eyed Peas producer. I think you remember I told you that when I met you and that, yeah. It was when I met Yoko, that was part of the youth centre. So because I went to Shuzy, but I also went to Notty Ash Youth Centre, and I also went to Fazak Youth Centre round on Longmore Lane near the 506. It was in the Cottage Homes, and I used to practice there, like just do like music and there to get a little drum. It was basically somewhere where you could fucking be loud at your man and let you, know what I mean? Yeah. So, know what I mean?
No neighbours.
Yeah, no neighbours and that. It was basically just a big fucking house, this youth centre in Fazak, lads. It was just a big old house. Yeah. Like a big old house, that's what it was, the youth centre, know what I mean? Yeah, it was sick. And we just used to have a little room in the kitchen because it had nice reverb and that, know what I mean, in there. And yeah, I forget where. So yeah, anyway, the Yoko thing, lad, yeah. He, all three of them youth centres nominated me to go. And so, know what I mean? Like, or like two of them, know what I mean? I can't remember how it worked, but my ma said both of them have asked for you, know what I mean? And then there was like 4 kids from like the South End, from like Penny Lane or something. They were all like from the Positive Impact Youth Centre. And then there was 5 kids from Lippe as well. And we done like this project on this bus and we made this tune. It's on YouTube. And it's like a little pop tune or something, but it's like got 10 different singers on it, and you get to work in the studio with these producers, and at the end of it you get to meet Yoko Ono. But a mad one about that as well, yeah. Like there was this woman who was like the only like she's like the only Scouser working on the bus. The rest of them were Yanks, really. There was like loads of Yanks working on it, all from California and all that. And I was speaking to a loads who got on with it, because all the rest of the kids were a bit shy and that. I was a bit livelier and a bit more of a like skull and that to the like the fellas, a bit more like cheeky and that. The rest of them were a bit timid, know what I mean? Boss kids, like, know what I mean? And he said like that this American fella said, you're like the only kid here that's like fucking John Lennon, know what I mean? He was like, know what I mean? That's like a bit crazy, you know what I mean? They were on me and there was this Scouse woman there and she went, yeah, where are you from? And it's all, you know what I mean, and all that. And she was like, yeah, he's a proper and all like that. And we got on me and this woman for like 3 days. And then ends up finding out it was John Lennon's sister.
Was it?
And I didn't even know. I was just dead close with her for like 3 days. Dead like, knew her name was Julie and that, you know what I mean, and all that. But never clocked that it was John Lennon's sister. Yeah, so I had like a nice little... And she said to me, Ma, at the end of it, she went, here's my business card, like if you ever get any music, like email me, but I lost the business card, lad, so I don't know how to get in touch with her. Hopefully she'll watch the Billy Moore podcast. She'll
watch this, lad. Hopefully Julia Lennon.
Yeah. It's a Julia Baird, the name is. I've Googled the name, Julia Baird. Yeah, she hasn't got her name's not Lennon, because you get asked that question. But I met a kid the other day called John Lennon, actually, to be honest, lad. Mad.
Scouser?
Yeah, Scouser as well, from Crosby. Mad. John Lennon. He said he lived in Sheffield, so he never used to get let in anywhere because he was like a fake IT. Or they go, what, you're from Liverpool, your name's John Lennon, fucking get out, you know what I mean?
So what are you going to be there? So what's going on for you? What records have you got coming up?
We've got a tune called Turn It Around that's going to be out. I can't say the date, like, because I don't really know what the date's going to be, but I know we're releasing it in the next 6 weeks. You know what I mean? So whenever this podcast goes out, it's going to be like a quick little release to it, but it's our first little tune under our new management, and it's our first tune that we're releasing properly, which is like our type of music. It's not their type of music, it's our type of music, that's, you know what I mean? Because we've always been pigeonholed to like, because we're like 4 kids from Liverpool with a guitar, that we've got to sound a certain way and we've got to look a certain way and we've got to act a certain way, and it's just, nah.
See, when you're singing most of your songs, most of them sound proper Scouse, don't they?
Yeah, but like, it's not the type of, it's like that new style, like what Jamie's doing, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's rich, it's more raw, do you know what I mean? And it's more storytelling, and it's more, not, you know, it's if the radio like it sound, but it's not for them anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like that sort of vibe, do you know what I mean?
So you're just telling a story through music?
Just telling how it is, lad, yeah, just telling it how it is, and just through music. That's the only way I can put it. But there's we're gonna be releasing like an EP, like 4 tunes, but that might turn into an album or whatever, depending on how well this tune does, do you know what I mean? So it's all, the plans all, like, when you're at this stage, that your plans all really up in the air, you know, really as it is, it can change like that at the drop of a hat, lad, and you just, next thing you're doing this, now you're doing that. And
so what are your hopes and your dreams for the future?
I just want to make a living out of Rats. Just want to make a living touring. If it's just toured the UK, if it's just a Liverpool thing, I don't care, lad. I'm not asked. I just want to do what it's meant to do.
Yeah, just make a living, pay the
bills. We'll just do what it's meant to do, really. I'm a bit of a spiritualist, lad, at heart, and believe in faith and all like that. So whatever's meant for me, that's what I want. Whatever happens, you know what I mean?
And what would you say, right, when we come to the end of this podcast, right, Joe? So what would you say, right, to a young Joe Maddocks, right, coming through the doors of life? If you had a little pill of wisdom, if you had something to say to a young Joe, what would it be?
Don't know, you know, stay away from fucking, nah, I won't say that. No, I won't say that, I don't know what.
It's one of them questions that put you on the spot.
You know, yeah, that proper put me on the spot. I don't know what I'd say to my younger self. Do exactly what you're doing. Crack on. Don't worry about anyone else or what other people think of me. Don't be asked about what people think, because I don't give a fuck what people think about me, Bill.
Good stuff, Joe. And with that, I'm going to put all your details within the description of the podcast, so you can find Joe. You know, just check the description. I'll put all your Instagram, the Rats official
Laughing
Instagram, and any up and coming
Twitter. Yeah, we've got a couple of shows coming up. Like, we've got a gig in London on the 30th of November. If you've got any followers down there, that's going to be in the Lexington. There's a few tickets sold for that already. And yeah, this Friday I've got a gig. Obviously, well, the podcast will already be out, but I'm going to Blackburn this Friday to a gig there. Then I've got a gig in Manny on Saturday with the Rats.
It's like, lad.
Yeah, back on the road. This November period, it's like November and then March and then July. That's like all your best times that we're always away. You know what I mean?
And with that, Joe,
nice one, Bill.
Thanks for coming on,
nice
mate.
One for having me on, fella. It's right. So this is a little spoken word for you. It's a little bit of the song Jack, and a little bit of these bars that I wrote with a rapper called Skinny Man from down in Islington in London. And it goes, little Jackie boy had a job, but not anymore. So he's out on his bike, running round, shot on a draw. Wrong side of the law, the long arm of the law's got him strung up like a chicken, bent up on the floor. He doesn't want to go to the prison's revolving door, because everybody knows that it's a crime to be poor. When you're back out of the big house and you've just lost your flat, can't keep up with the rent because the claim's being axed. Community charge, council tax and bedroom tax. It's like kicking a drug habit when you don't want to relapse. When it's winter and you're homeless and you're begging for scraps, people walking past you don't even consider the facts. But they do though, don't they though? But they don't, like you think that they'd let you know, but they won't. Do you want to know how far little kids like Jack have got left to go? The pressure and the stress that they're facing on the roads, finding it hard in their little head to cope. What do you think the kids would do if you handed them a rope? This is life and death, it's not a laugh and a joke. Kids are underpoverished, society is broke. People are getting locked up for a little bit of weed smoke, but this is how it is when you're living on these roads. Nice one, people. See you in a bit. Good night, God bless.